If you won't move, I can't pressing his homie. He stood up in front of his mama. I'm up to come with him. 19 is over, let the phone go get him. I got two that'll go get him. That's the women's crew and the dudes that'll hang with him.
Hey guys, kind of, who was that guy, right? Anyways, alright, episode 2, we're talking about top 10 MMO RPGs. Now, when we're thinking of MMOs, we're thinking of massive, multiplayer, online, role-playing games. Alright, massive. I'm thinking of a game that I'm jumping into a whole world. That's what I'm thinking of, massive. Multiplayer. I'm not just jumping in alone. I'm jumping in with hundreds of people all around me. I love that feeling just with those two factors, you know, just by saying those two factors right there alone. I love those type of video games. Massive. You're thinking of, you're going to get your money's worth, right? A whole world you get to explore. You can use your imagination. You can do anything you want, and then you get to see other people's creativity. I love that. That's the best part, is get to learn about other people's creativity. Also, multiplayer. You get to actually chat and mingle and fight, you know, and become friends and hug it out, whatever the fuck you want to do with other people around the world. That's badass. I think right there is awesome. Joining together for a collaboration in a video game is awesome. Alright, massive. Multiplayer online. Now, multiplayer and online. Now, when you're thinking of multiplayer, you're thinking of playing with multiple people, right? When you're thinking of online, you're thinking of the same exact thing. Wrong. When I'm thinking of online, I'm not just thinking of, you know, other players, but I'm thinking about what they're going to affect the world as well as me playing it. So there's a few games out there that actually do that. That actually you're able to have a grand effect that other players are going to be able to play because of that effect. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get to blow up a village because of, you know, that was your quest, and then another person comes by and says, wait a minute, what happened to that fucking village? Well, your enemy just blew it up. That's right there is what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking of multiplayer online. Something that affects the multiplayers, all right? The online multiplayer, right? RPG, role-playing game, role-playing. Now, you don't have to go too in depth with that. You don't have to pretend like you're a fucking princess or a fucking archer or an elf, whatever the fuck. That's cool if you want to do that. Good job. All right. But when I'm thinking of role playing, I'm thinking of I'm getting into character, getting into an initial character. What would my character do rather than if I made a warrior and a rogue? They would do something different, obviously. The warrior would go into combat straight ahead. The rogue would fall back behind, right? And go into a secret way in, or whatever the fuck you may do. I want to get in the head of my characters. And there's a few games that allow me to actually explore that. And that's sad, really, because what we're about to talk about is the top 10 MMORPGs, right? Well, in that category, I based it on the creativity alone and as well as role-playing too. I want to see games let me get into the head of a character, not something that's already pre-selected for me. Dragon Age Inquisition kind of made me feel that way, kind of feel like it was already pre-rolled for me. Same with Borderlands. Borderlands is a great game, same with Dragon Age Inquisition, don't get me wrong, but they do not fit in the MMORPGs category. They do not fit in there. Because for one thing, the barriers are so much, it's a set storyline, your characters have a set characteristic already. Even though you have a skill set, it's still set for you. No one is different in that video game when you pick the same class. When you see two assassins together, they're most likely going to have the same skill sets. In certain MMORPGs, that may be the case, but the other factors come into play: multiplayer, online, and then the massive part. That they all collaborate together as one word, as one definition, basically. Now, a lot of people had inputs on the MMORPGs, one of which was World of Warcraft, obviously. Everyone talked about World of Warcraft like it was the glorified MMORPG, like it was the RPG of the year. Granted, it won a lot of awards, it won a lot of stuff. I'm so disappointed in the fact that it's actually an MMORPG, because I did felt like it was already, they're getting to the point where they're preset for you. Even when it first came out, you pick a warlock, you play, you create it, wherever the fuck the race may be, but then you see another warlock, same race, same look, same everything. However, their talent specs make them different. Now World of Warcraft kind of changed that aspect and changed it to where it's pre-rolled. You only pick 3 major classifications, and most likely you're going to run into the same classification. If you run into the same warlock, you're going to probably run into the same classification. At the same time, they give you a little illusion of talent specs, which only you get to pick 3 at each category. Every 15 levels, I believe, you get to pick 1 out of 3. These talent specs don't even make a big groundbreaking difference, I think. So, to me, every character on World of Warcraft is now become pre-rolled. Sad to say, next month when I do the top 10 video games, I'm really excited to see where World of Warcraft stands, especially after me pointing out the little bitches that I'm going to be pointing out on Saturday. A lot of bitching I have to do with World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a great game, however, they did fuck it up. I'm sorry. You did. Alright, moving on. Everyone's excited about today, June 9th. What happens today? What happens today? Oh yeah, that's right. Elder Scrolls comes out. If you guys really want to fucking experience a badass video game, Elder Scrolls is one of the newest ones that claim to have the missing links of the MMORPGs. All right, well, this is going to give you a much more broad spectrum of an MMORPG, because you get to explore a fantasy world that isn't pretty much limited. You actually can explore outwards. You can go swimming, you can go fishing, you can do whatever you want, and you actually get to affect the world. Elder Scrolls actually fits in our 10th place. Out of the top 10, they actually won 10th place. That's very rare that fans would actually immediately jump on board. It's only been out for 2 years, 2013. It came out. That was the ring for the 10th place, I guess. For Elder Scrolls, it brings a whole new spectrum of light. Like, when you play the other Elder Scrolls video games, you've played Oblivion, Morrowind, all those other aspects. They give you a single-player feel. Like, you make a difference in that world. Elder Scrolls Online still gives you that feeling of, you still make a big difference in the world. And that's one thing I'm really excited about playing. If you guys want to watch, by the way, we'll be playing at 8 o'clock Central Time in the afternoon, to 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time. on my Twitch channel. I'll be playing a healer. If you guys need some help, I'll be starting brand new with a bunch of people. I'm going to start up a guild, hopefully. It will be pretty decent. You know, you guys can join, you don't have to, it doesn't matter. If you subscribe, then you get free in-game shit, just letting you guys know, just to help you guys out in your journey starting off. 10th place, the Elder Scrolls video game, you get to choose between 3 factions. Alright, the Aldari Dominion, blah, everyone knows who they are. The sadistic, kind of corrupt, high elf hierarchy. They believe that the high elves, they believe basically that magic needs to be kept with the professionals. They believe high elves deserve the land of Cyrodiil because they were the first race to be born. I'm sorry to say, high elves, you missed your turn. It's up to you, though, to prove your worth as a high elf or Aldari Dominion. With that faction, you get to pick between a high elf, which they're very, very talented with magic. They're very powerful. They're very well known with magic spells and intellect. So if you're choosing a summoner or a mage or a sorcerer, period, they're a really good class to be. They actually have a really good resistance against magic as well. A lot of elves do already, since they're magical creatures. But high elves, by far, have the best intellect as far as talent specs go. They're also the Khajiit. The cat people. They're very good, as you might have guessed, at nighttime prowling around. They have night vision. They're very they're very good with stealth. Lockpicking, they're pretty good at. They are meant to be thieves. Although Elder Scrolls still lets you explore whatever you want to explore. So you want to be a Khajiit that holds 2-handed axes, go right ahead. You know, you can do that because there's a lot of specs that still make you and still support that gameplay for you, and that's wonderful. Same with the high elves. If you want to be a cloak and dagger high elf, that's still possible because of the talent specs and the guilds that you join in and the weapons you pick. I mean, there's so many variables and what you want to play and what you can play. The game is awesome. Alright, also for that faction, we have the Wood Elves, the best archers in the game. Wood Elves are very, very, very talented, and these 3 factions actually got together because they believe in making the place more tangible for the rest of the world. Basically, they want to help control Cyrodiil and basically make it into a tight asshole. That's basically what they want to do. The Khajiit don't really necessarily believe in the High Elves, however, they have no choice being enslaved by everyone else. The Wood Elves, their homeland is being taken over, and the High Elves are the last source of defense for their homeland elsewhere. So they're kind of relying on the Wood Elves' defenses. So they got together through those type of means. Khajiit had nowhere else to go. The Wood Elves are about to get taken over. The High Elves are the only people with the right defenses and the right numbers and the right technology to actually fight this war. So together, their resources collide. Another faction, Ebonheart Pact. They're actually pretty powerful. My favorite faction, that's the faction I'll be joining. It's the Dark Elves, the Nords, and the Argonians. The Dark Elves are the Dunmer, are very powerful. And they're very powerful as in for fire spells or as for like a little bit of necromancy, like summoners. They're very good with being summoners. Or if you want to become a spear-holding, shield-bashing mother cracker, then you still can be like that, alright? The Nords. The Nords are pretty powerful as well. They're brute force, as you guessed, and makes them very powerful with shields or 2-handed weapons. Of course, you can still become a magic Nord if you want to. There's no harm, no foul. Argonians. Argonians are really good with resistance, poison, diseases, all that kind of stuff. Like if you want to become a rogue Argonian, you actually be fitting in really well because if somebody hits you, if a fellow rogue hits you, you have a lot more resistance than a normal rogue would have. Resistance is key in PvP, so keep that in mind, and as well as PvE too. However, it does come more into play in the PvP section since a lot of people have spells that disease, poison, and do dots damage over time. All right, so the Ebonheart Pact kind of got together and in a sketchy way. The Nords, they are kind of, arrogant, and they believe in they're already, they believe that they don't need help. However, they did lose a lot of people and a lot of fights in the past wars. So their resources are very, very small. All they have is Skyrim. And we all remember Skyrim. Well, this is about a millennium before we get to play that video game. And what happened in there, we get to experience the companions, we get to experience the 500 warriors fighting, and we get to meet the leader of that faction as well. The Nords need more people. They have a little bit of resources and not enough people to fight this war. Dark Elves. The Dark Elves actually come in into that picture as far as the resources. They are massive in resources. Their homeland keeps getting taken over. They get trampled all the place. Dark Elves were the only race besides the Argonians that were enslaved by the Nords. And the Nords basically said to Dark Elves, hey, look, we'll give you your land and your people, your resources back if you help us fight this war. And the Dark Elves said, well, do we have a fucking choice? No. So there they are. The Argonians. The Argonians were also enslaved by the Nords. Kind of like a weird love-hate relationship with them right now. But the Argonians put that aside because right now their homeland is the most important thing, and the Nords promise that they'll help get their homeland back. Now, they're all resourcing around the Orcs' old homeland. Because of that, the Orcs were separated and had to join the Daggerfall Covenant. The Orcs literally had nobody left. Nobody appreciated the Orcs. Now, the Orcs were kind of like the Nords. However, they gained more resources and less of the numbers. They are fantastic weaponsmiths. If you're trying to become a weaponsmith or a warrior, Orcs are the best blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're the best at that craft. As well as PvP, they have a lot of resilience and strength and defense to equal out their attack. So the Nords are mainly concentrated on bashing the shit out of somebody and having just a little bit of defense. The Orcs have a lot of resilience, a little bit of defense, and a little bit of attack. So there's a little bit of equalization in that saying. So the Red Guards are kind of the darker colored people of the whole universe. The Red Guards have a lot of land, desert land, but a lot of land nonetheless. They have a lot of people. They believe in royalty is key in keeping everything together. The Bretons, they're the same way. Magical monks, so to speak. They're really powerful, and they believe in their religion, and they believe in basically the government needs to be stabilized for their people to have success in the war. Daggerfall Covenant comes together. Their actually teamwork is more cooperational compared to anyone else's faction. They are very powerful because they are the only faction that actually agreed to stay together in equal terms. Other people are kind of want to stab each other in the back, so to speak. Well, these people do not want to do that. They came together as a treaty, and they came together, most importantly, as a wedding, part of a Romeo and Juliet type of feel. The Red Guard princess married the Breton king. So you kind of have that collaboration going on together. Still a little sketchy, but because of that marriage, their Daggerfall Covenant came together so easily. Elder Scrolls gives you a better feel of a whole new world, and if you've played any other Elder Scrolls games, you're going to have a little bit of disappointment in this game. It isn't like any other Elder Scrolls games. You're not going to be just the one hero. You're playing with a lot of people. When you start off, in fact, Molag Bal has you under his freaking palms, and they wants to smash and crush you and blah blah blah. Well, Metamarco, the sorcerer, basically the guy that aided Molag Bal to enter into this plane, to this universe, Tamriel, he opened up the gates to oblivion. And Molag Bal is the Deja Prince of enslavement. So hence why the chains and why he wants to take over Tamriel. He wants to enslave all these heroes and have his own massive army. He also wants to fight in this great war to capture the White Tower. Cyrodiil in the White Tower, why it's important is because whoever rules it rules the land. Whoever takes over it rules the land. And not only that, but there's a little bit of secrecy going on. And if you've played the Oblivions, I'm not going to spoil it too much for you, but if you played Oblivion, then you know what I'm talking about. If you played Skyrim, then you know the aftermath of that fact. Dragonborn has something to do with it, maybe? I don't know. You come to find out, and if you play the video game, you will. I think you will enjoy it. The game's premise is a millennium before any other Elder Scrolls video games. You have to keep that in mind. Elder Scrolls is 10th place on the top 10 MMORPGs. So when we get back, we're going to see the 9th place, which is pretty surprising, actually. Right. Alright, guys. We're back, and we're talking about, so far, the top 10 MMORPGs, and we did the 10th place. Just to clarify, everyone, I'm not doing all 10 of them right now. The top 10 segment is going to last all month, so you're going to find out the number 1 slot at the end of the month. Right now, we just did 10th place, and that was Elder Scrolls Online. A very badass video game that actually came out today for the consoles. It's already out on PC as of 2013. But now it's free online. So if you already own the copy, you don't have to pay per monthly if you don't want to. However, if you do, you get certain benefits for it. You get all the add-ons for free and all that crap. Consoles just came out today. I'm going to be playing that at 8 o'clock tonight to 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time. If you guys want to group up and help and win and fight and quest, then I'm here for you guys. Alright, if you want to subscribe to my channel, you get free in-game shit that will actually help you out throughout your journeys. Now, moving on. We got to the 10th place is Elder Scrolls. Now we're at 9th place. And Final Fantasy, A Realm Unborn, the second MMORPG that Final Fantasy came out with. Now, those that don't remember the first MMORPG was very complicated. I loved it so much, but however, it was too complicated. I know I bitched about World of Warcraft being too simple. Well, this is too complicated. You can't just make a video game that complicated. It was so complicated that moving forward and attacking was pretty much a task in itself. And then you had to fight the enemy ahead of you that could do everything badass. It was a hard game to get attached to because of that. You can't make video games too hard or too complicated, or people won't want to play it, since they can't move on. So Final Fantasy, the first MMORPG, it was creative. It was very cool. It was massive. It was huge. It had a good concept. It brought the classic Final Fantasy feel that we all love and grew up with. Final Fantasy A Realm Unborn corrected all the flaws from the first MMORPG. Every Final Fantasy is different. It's a different war, a different realm. Alright? So those that played Final Fantasy 1 or the challenging Final Fantasy for the Game Boy or for the regular Nintendo's, the overhead view, everyone remember those Final Fantasy video games. They have nothing to do with each other. Their storylines are different. So keep that in mind. Final Fantasy A Realm Unborn is the realm that we were playing in is called Eorzea or Eorzea. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a realm embraced by gods and forged by heroes. So that is where our powers come from. This realm, the gods created this realm so that heroes can be born with very badass powers. Now with those people, I'll go into a little depth with the races and the jobs. It's pretty basic as far as that goes for the Final Fantasy games. They're not called classes. They're called jobs. So those that are familiar with Final Fantasy, jobs is what your classes are. Okay, so we know what the realm is, Eorzea, and that is it's very massive realm. Now, just knowing that it's going to be in a realm itself, Final Fantasy introduces, so that kind of makes me think that it's going to be a pretty badass, big game. I've played the shit out of it on a console, loved the hell out of it, and enjoyed it. However, a little fallback, I have to pay. You have to pay online. little setback there. Unfortunately, it is you do have to pay for it online. However, I think it's worth it for the type of gameplay that you want to play. If you want a challenging video game and you want to, you basically want events every step of the way in Final Fantasy. You're gonna have events. It's called Fate, and Fate events are critical because they give you experience points like really badass experience points, more than quests would give you. They consist of a little bit more than raids will, like as far as gear, alright, and as far as bosses and fate events are huge, colossal, badass enemies that actually require you sometimes, actually most of the time, to get groups that have similar quests and similar objectives. So it kind of makes you forge alliances with people all around the world in that video game. Fates are really cool just to connect with people. Now, a realm, I'm thinking that is already going to be huge. So far they've only introduced in one planet, Hydaelyn. Blah. Hydaelyn is a planet that you're going to explore. All right. So far they've only introduced this one planet. An expansion is about to come out for this video game. I'm going to talk more about that next Monday. But so just keep in mind, if you do get involved with Final Fantasy: A Realm Unborn, they will expand this game a lot more, and they're about to expand it. They're about to expand it a lot more. Hydaelyn is a planet that is, if you're used to Final Fantasy games, there's going to be a forest areas. There's a lot of forest areas. There's a lot of desert areas, and there's a lot of just straight up desert areas. Basic generic regions in this game. Iozora is one of the major realms that we're going to be able to. Like I said, the realm itself is going to be huge. And then so far they've only introduced one planet, and that planet is pretty big too. It's ran, all this whole realm is ran off of crystals, all these crystals. And these major, these basically the Imperial armies, or the 8th Imperial Legion, wants to take over this world. Now the particular bad guys, we'll be talking about that again. 3 major continents consist of this planet. So it's not really expansive just yet. It's basically just one. It's basically like 3 continents put together. There's a little side island here that you can play and shit like that. So it's not that big right now. It's going to get even bigger though with this expansion that I was telling you about. Now the races, the higher. The higher are mid and are also considered the mid and highlanders. Now you get to pick between the two. One is kind of like a high, richer, like kind of like Hollywood Hills type of feel, and the other one is more like the basic farmers. So the midlanders and the highlanders. You kind of guess which one is which. All right, the Mikote, the cat-like people. Some of them are called the Seekers of the Sun, or you can choose the Keepers of the Moon. The cat-like people, remember, this game isn't really too race-oriented with your job. So you can pick a cat person to be a warrior, and it would make no difference between a Highlander and a Highlander warrior. So, all right, but also these cat people, they're pretty powerful as far as agility goes. All right, so the Elzian. The Elzian are like kind of like the wood elves / dark elves. Like I said, you get to pick between one of those two out of the races. One is basically based off of the woods, and just like the Mikote, they have 2 factions. With the Sun faction, obviously represents the light, and then the Keepers of the Moon represent the dark versions of them. So just like any other race, the Elzian, the wild wood people are basically like the sun. They're the light. And then you have the Duskwit. The Duskwit are pretty dark people, but they're like the elves of this world, okay? The Roganian. The Roganian are kind of like the sailors of this world. They all believe you can pick between a pirate or an actual navyman. Pirate, obviously, everyone wants to choose that. The pirates are pretty cool. They look like, buccaneers with their bandanas and shit like that, eye patches. They look pretty cool. There are buff, people. They're the sailors of the group. The Lalafell. The Lalafell are like little gnome creatures. They're the gnomes of this planet, and they're basically the tradesmen. if you're not a hero, they're basically the tradesmiths that run the whole world. And basically, you'll see them a lot in this world. They basically content to merchants, or they're magic users. And they're pretty cool with magic. They're really well balanced characters. All these races are well balanced as far as what you want to choose for your job or classes. The jobs consist of paladins. Obviously, the paladins are the basic holy warriors. They can heal themselves, or tanks. Well, with this game, it's a little different. Paladins in this game, they do have a little bit of magic, but they're mainly more like tanks. They're the tanks of the entire group. They have the abilities to keep themselves alive, as well as buff up other party members. So they have some aspects of the paladins that we're used to playing in medieval games or EverQuest. Monks, the hand-to-hand combat agility motherfuckers. They're pretty fast, they're pretty badass, and they have a little bit of unique abilities too. They're kind of like the rogue slash monks in World of Warcraft. So you kind of get the feel of both worlds in that aspect. And then you got the warriors. The warriors are damage dealing badass motherfuckers that come in there, hack them and slash them. They're the people that go front line. Besides the tanks, of course. In PvP, they're badass. The dragoons. The dragoons are another tanking slash damage job or class. The dragoons consist of transformation. They consist of actually transforming their bodies and their strengths into auras, into powerful blasts. So they basically, instead of like warriors, they jab, 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 blah. Paladins are block, block, jab. Well, the dragoons are and they're basically massive explosive power. They charge up a little bit and they blast it. That's what they do. Bards. Bards were used to flute playing or buffers. In this game, they play the aspect of a healer slash buffer. They are the main attraction that you need for a group to actually succeed a lot easier. Most people would think EverQuest when they think bards because of the familiarity in the name. Well, they do share the same similarities as job slash classes. They're both music playing buffer motherfucking healers. They are excellent in groups. Then you have the white mage. The white mage is basically like a cleric. White mages have basic healing abilities, as well as a little bit of offense powers, but they're mainly just healers. You get the black mage. The black mage is the opposite of the white mage. I wonder where they got that from. Well, the black mage is very powerful as kind of like the wizards or the mages in World of Warcraft. They are damage dealing mofos. They will wreck your asshole if you can't fucking hit them right. So be careful of them in PvP. The summoners. Summoners rely on their pets. Just like a necromancer or a hunter, they rely solely on range attacks and as well as their pets attacking them to keep the enemy occupied. So summoners are pretty basic as far as that. Then you have scholars. Scholars are kind of like the buffers as well as this group. They're the buffers. They're the people with the know-how. They are very unique and very powerful when it comes to certain aspects, like exploring, learning about new things, and finding new areas, and exploring the lore of this entire world. Scholars are definitely your kind of class or job to pick. Then there's this new class, ninjas. I didn't get to play too much of the ninjas. The ninjas are pretty powerful people. What I understand, they're like the monks, except they're defensive as well as the offensive. The monks are more stabilization. They can hold their ground, all right, as long as they need to. Well, the ninjas don't need to hold their ground. They can move on and use the environment to their advantage, unlike monks. Monks are stand still, block, block, slap, blah, 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 blah. They're kind of like the whole Dragon Ball Z version of this game. Well, the ninjas are kind of like the rogue slash monks. They're more the stealthy version of the rogue, though, and the more defensive part of the monk. So ninjas are pretty powerful, damage dealing, very agile creatures. Classes slash jobs. And the bad guys. Ooh. The bad guys in this game, there are so many. Mainly consist of this guy named Gaius. Gaius is or Gaius, however you want to pronounce it, is a conqueror. He leads this entire army of people that wants to conquer this world. And it's up to us adventurers to stop him from doing this. And he also has legions and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's another guy named Legatius. Legatius is a very powerful legion. He wants to purge this land of all the impurities, which is you, me, everybody. Even the bad guy I just mentioned. He has his own agenda. They're all part of this one elaborate, badass storyline that if you actually get connected with, I'm not, again, just like Elder Scrolls, I'm not going to spoil too much out of it. However, they do hold a lot of story inside this video game. The lore is very massive and very different with other Final Fantasy video games, as well as any other MMORPG. It's pretty impressive what they've actually accomplished. And the mounts, you know, they have chocobos, of course, just like any other Final Fantasy game. They have all that. They have even a card game they're introducing into the Final Fantasy, A Realm Unborn, and it should be pretty interesting. Just like any other Final Fantasy game, they had a card game. They had ways to summon these magical creatures. Final Fantasy A Realm Unborn is not different at all when it comes to those aspects. They will present you a cool way to use your class or job. And that's not even it. There's things called duties / quests. These duties vary. There's different types of them. One of which is your basic go kill 100 boars for their tusks or whatever the fuck. That's basic. That's in every MMORPG. You're gonna get that. So Final Fantasy doesn't really differ from at that point. They just want to call it something different. Of course, there's also messenger duties. Go find this person and report to him. Then after that, you go report to him, and he tells you to go report to this guy. And that point, blah 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 blah. Everyone loves those repetitive quests. Well, Final Fantasy, unfortunately, still gives you those repetitive quests. However, and just like I mentioned before, while you're doing those quests, you might run into fate events. And that's what makes it, like I said before, every step of the way you're going to have something new to explore, something to do. Final Fantasy gives you a very wide range of video gaming for the MMORPGs. It won 9th place for the particular reason of the creativity in the Final Fantasy MMORPG world. Unlike any other MMORPG, this game actually tried to steer away from the basics and try to give you something new, as well as they're trying to give you the old feeling of a Final Fantasy game. I think they did it on point. They did a really good job with this video game. If only it was free, then it would even be even better. However, I think for an MMORPG, if you guys are looking for a challenging and different video game, Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn is perfect for you. Alright, so as far as the top 10 MMORPGs, that's going to be it for this episode 2. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to talk about the 8th and 7th place, which is pretty impressive where everything falls into place. And like I said, the first place winner isn't something that you would never usually pick. However, the 8th and 7th place is still available. You can still email me and add in your tally. I'll still add in your tallies throughout the remaining days of this week so we can get the 8th and 7th place. A lot of people are just now watching my channel, so I always want to give everyone a chance to basically give them a chance to keep up. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the initial tests, the 3 questions of the day. So stay tuned for that. Thank you again for watching me. I'll be right back. Sweet tea. I love sweet tea. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. Love sweet tea. Sweet tea! All right. Testing time. To test your knowledge on comics. Who was Black Widow's rival? The person that, I'll give you a hint, a person that she trained with in the KGB. Wonder who that is. Named the half-breed vampire in Marvel. He's had a couple movies. Wonder who that is. Also, what is Quake's real name? Quake is an Inhuman. Just a little hint. Now, get all 3 questions right, you get something. Even if you get them wrong, you still have a chance to win the grand prize. So, make sure you email me at jcfuller420@gmail.com to give me the answers so you can qualify yourself for such a badass grand prize. Thanks for watching. I just want to say, again, thank you for the support, for everyone, for thumbing me up, for supporting me, subscribing. Thank you guys so much. I need the support right now more than ever. They always say the beginning episodes that you air won't be seen by many, so it kind of makes you want to, like, you know, blah. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep rolling. I love doing this, and I love talking about video games. I love that you guys want to watch me talk about video games. And if you guys have any opinion on a new topic for next week, please let me know. Email me. You can follow me on Twitter, YouTube channel, Twitch. Tonight, I'm going to be doing 8 o'clock Central Time to 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time. All night playing EverQuest, playing Elder Scrolls online on the PS4. Killfuller is my screen name, so make sure that you subscribe, follow me, do all you guys need to do, and if you do that, I'll have a present for every single one of you guys that you guys want to, you know, join in for an in-game surprise that help you guys out in your journeys. You know, in the beginning of your journeys. It's not something that you can carry on throughout the game, but it's something that can help you out immensely throughout the beginning of the video game. Now, Twitch partners. Twitch partners are people that play video games professionally to help out other people, to give insight for other gamers that are lost in that particular gaming world or section of the gaming world. Now, Destiny is a very, very popular game, and a lot of people like playing it, so a lot of people need some help playing it to get groups or competent people for PoE or for Crota's End. PoE as in Prison of Elders. So these are the people you want to contact for the Twitch partners. King Goliath, Gothlin, King Gothlin, King King, and Gothlin, Gothalion, King Gothlin. He plays mainly Destiny, and he helps out a lot of people. Go ahead and follow him. Subscribe to his channel. He's very helpful. He's a pretty cool guy, too, and it's very interesting conversations. Then you have Professor Broman. Obviously, Professor Broman. I shouldn't have to spell that out for you guys, as you guys know what that is. He plays Destiny very competitively, might I add. He's very, 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 very good at that video game. And again, the conversations are kind of unique inside that channel. So make sure you follow him, subscribe to him, give him some attention, all right? Because he's got thousands of people already watching him, and he's helped out every single one of them. As far as I'm concerned, he's a very, very good gamer. Then for Elder Scrolls, since it's come out today, some people have already been playing it. This Twitch partner in particular has been playing it. Also, he plays other shooter games as well. But right now, I think he's concentrated on ESO. His name is Josh757. Josh757. He's a very, very good gamer. He plays professionally for Twitch. He's again, follow him, subscribe to his channel, check his shit out. Obviously, me, Killfuller, will be playing a healer. Be starting up my own guild tonight. I'll be playing with a lot of people. If you subscribe to my channel, you get free in-game shit. You get free stuff. If you answer my questions, if you follow me, if you do all this crap, you get shit. So, yeah, that's going to be cool. Also, if you want to join in on my games on Elder Scrolls, you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Alright, there is a catch to that. And I will help you guys out. I'll be playing a healer. I know my way around that world. I've been playing on the PC for a long time. So you guys will be in good hands, so to speak. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching this. I appreciate the whole support you've been giving me. Again, Mom, thank you so much. I know it's corny to say, you know, thank you for Mom, but she's made this actually possible. And thank you again for my, thank you, my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew. They've all helped me out and supporting this wonderful thing that I call my dream. Of course, Aesop102, Shadowhunter, Squad Kills, Awesomeness, Kai, Alex, thank you guys so much for supporting me. I can go down the list of all these other people that have been joining me, have been watching me, have been supporting me through all these events. And thank you guys. You guys will always be remembered. And don't worry, if you guys subscribe now before I, get any bigger, I will remember the subscriptions. I will remember you guys, people, and you will get something major. All right. At the end of this month, I will be holding something much, 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 much bigger. So you guys stay tuned and see what that is. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy ass shit, so stay tuned for that. Watch my first episode. We were talking about GTA add-ons. We were talking about the new games, the Star Wars Battlefront. Even Dead Island 2 was mentioned in there. We even talk about the Hall of Fame pop culture winners. Yay! So stay tuned. So watch my first episode. You can still get informed with a lot of information. So fucking watch it! Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys make it in the episode 1. Thank you for watching episode 2. Can't wait to record episode 3 tomorrow. Can't wait to play Elder Scrolls Online. Can't wait to see you guys. Blah, 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 blah. Love you. Bye-bye.